Okay, so another interesting thing I've found. Now what we were looking at this as was that it was a permanent, so when you put the gear lever in park, it would bring this thing forwards. And we were like, okay, cool, that will be a, parking pole. Now, interestingly, when I put it in the neutral position, which is what I had it in, I could spin one wheel. We'll just see. I'll balance this down right here. You can see that drive shaft, that CV shaft there. It'll hold there. So I'll leave it in neutral, and that shaft will not move. You can see it probably wiggles a little bit, or not even at all. I lock this pole back into park. And as you can see, so it was in neutral, now it's in park. And when it's in park, it seems to tie those two shafts together. It doesn't actually seize them like you'd think a park pole would. It just actually links them up like the sort of thing I'd expect through a regular differential. So I'm not exactly sure what this does now, because from what I can see, it's supposed to engage an actual physical lock between the gear teeth and a fixed body inside the transmission, so it shouldn't allow anything to rotate. So yeah, I'm confused at what that does, but that seems to allow me to spin freely like it's a constant neutral. So I'm confused, but we'll figure out which position it needs to be in, and I'll make up a bracket to go from here to here and lock it into that position that it needs to allow the car to actually work. So yeah. Look, I have to say, the greatest thing invented to find out what the shit is going on down in places that you can't see is the mobile phone. I'll get you up. It looks like you might just be a good yank. That was that last bit of loom that I couldn't get to yesterday. So I went out today and bought a little bloody universal joint. So yeah, now let's try and get him off. So it doesn't appear to be a safety latch or anything. It appears to be just sort of the housing. It almost just feels like it's just seized, which would make this the first seize connector on the car, so I don't really want to force it. I'm not exactly sure how to get that one out. One piece of advice I can give people when they're pulling engines or motors or anything and they're taking the full K-frame, is when you remove suspension bolts, stick them back in and just wind them up a couple of turns by hand, just so that when the suspension drops, it gets caught by something. In case you've got any appendage below it, that is not a great way, but it is a final way to make sure that you don't lose your fingers and toes by having them jammed somewhere before you're finally ready to let the engine down. definitely not sure where to get at you. Even with the light on there, it doesn't tell me much. Everything else been so easy. Okay, so I'm just going to use the grid line here. Line you up there. And there. Okay, so you go down to about 45 degrees. And on this side, you go down a lot less. Right, so I need a new lower control arm, because this one is definitely bent on this side. You are definitely bent compared to you. At least that's an easy fix. Lower control arms are easy. I suppose it did get hit at the back end, so it shunted the whole car forward to this wheel, and that one got rammed into the gutter. Because, as you can see, go around here, that got compressed into the gutter and completely stuffed this rim. Still holding there somehow. I don't know how. No idea how. Because this rim barely has any damage visible on it. Realistically only that. And nothing I can see on the inside. And this rim's deflated. So I got one stuffed rim which holds there and one apparently good rim which doesn't. Okay, so summary of today's efforts. I didn't get that much done, I'll be honest. It was raining for a good part of the day. Ground's still a bit wet, so I am conversely muddy. However, our car coming, car's gone. However, I did manage to get a bit done. I pulled off all the plastic guards so nothing can foul, loosened off all the suspension bolts, managed to get the cover off the loom at the back of the engine, but I just can't unplug the loom, which is frustrating. However, I should have enough slack I can loop the loom over the car. That's a problem filming in your front yard. I can loop this whole body loom. Where are you? Damn. Can loop him all the way over the back of the engine while I roll the engine out, and that should get me to about here. I can actually get a good look at it. And the only other thing I need to get is my hydraulic lines off, but I cannot for the life of me find my brake line spanners. I've got a feeling that I might have lent them to someone a few years back and never got them back. And the 8K frame bolts, and that'll be it. So yeah, if you liked this video and would like to see more like it, hit that like button and hit subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.